apply some logical questions to the formation of the world's largest rock group, Mount Rushmore. Ask any evolutionist the logical question: do you believe that there is any way these faces of Washington, Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt and Lincoln could have appeared on this rock by chance? Do you think that the wind did that? Or do you think erosion did it? Or how about exfoliation? Or what about the thermal expansion of rock? If you ask them what caused these faces to appear on Mount Rushmore, they would obviously say that they were designed by someone. And of course they were, by an artist named Gutzon Borglum. But then ask them this question: do you believe the men represented here happened by chance? If they believe in evolution, they have to say yes. And then say, now, wait a minute, you don't think that their face could appear on a rock by chance, but you do think that their whole complex anatomy with 50 trillion cells could happen by chance? And then ask them, how many years would it take for these figures to appear on the side of the mountain by chance? Million years? I'll give you a billion years. I'll give you a trillion years. Could these figures eventually form on the side of the mountain? Obviously the evolutionists would say it's impossible no matter how much time you give it. But then ask them, but isn't that how you say we got here? After billions of years of chance? Even though we're incredibly more complex than just faces on Mount Rushmore, on a rock? So the logical conclusion is that just the faces on Mount Rushmore had to be designed. How much more then was the human body designed? And speaking of rockheads, while evolutionists will refrain from saying that the faces on the rock of Mount Rushmore happened by chance, they really do believe we all came from a rock.
Asked me to speak at this college in Boston one time. This preacher called all the colleges and universities around Boston. I got my charts out and I said, now folks, I believe the Bible. Nobody cheered. I said, I believe about 6,000 years ago God made everything. The world's not millions of years old. And 2,000 years ago Jesus came and I gave them the basic Bible story, okay? Then I told them what they believe. Because most of them don't know what they believe. You have to tell them. You guys believe 20 billion years ago there was a big bang where nothing exploded and produced everything. 4.6 billion years ago the earth cooled down, made a hard rocky crust. It rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup, and the soup came alive 3 billion years ago. And this early life form found somebody to marry. Boy, now that's a good trick. And something to eat, of course, and slowly evolved into everything we see today. One professor was getting kind of upset about this time. I seem to do that to them. He said, Mr. Hovind, there are hundreds of varieties of dogs in the world. I said, yes, sir, you're right about that. He said, you mean to tell me that you believe all these dogs came from 2 dogs off a Noah's Ark? You expect me to believe that? Ha, ha, ha. I said, sir, would you look at what you're teaching your students? You're teaching your students that all the dogs in the world came from a rock. I had one lady, woman, come to me after a debate one time. She was steaming down the aisle, boy, she was mad. Oh, I could tell I'm in trouble now. I stood there quivering in my boots, you know. She walked up and she said, tonight, you said, we believe we come from a rock. We do not believe that. I said, well, ma'am, calm down just for a minute. I said, do you believe in evolution? She said, yes, I do. I'm a professor here at the university. I said, well, would you please tell me then where we came from? She said, we came from a macromolecule. I said, where did that come from? She said, from the oceans, from the prebiotic soup. I said, where did that come from? She said, well, it rained on the rocks for millions of years. And you can see it was slowly dawning on her. I do believe I come from a rock, don't I? Yes, ma'am, you do. How many have ever heard of the Big Bang Theory? Do you believe in evolution? How did the world get here? He said, oh, it came from the Big Bang. I said, really? I'd like to hear about this. He said, you're a science teacher and you've never heard of the Big Bang? And so the professor went off on one of those answers that looked like it came straight from the textbook. He said, well, Hovind, I believe about 18 or 20 billion years ago. That's a long time. All the matter in the universe. Now that's a lot of stuff. It's concentrated into one very dense, very hot region that may have been much smaller than a period on this page. What? Everything in the universe squished into a dot smaller than a period on a page. Wow. That's one crowded dot. And heavy, too. Hey, boys and girls, it ain't the first time it happened either. This textbook says, after many billions of years, all the matter and energy will once again be packed into a small area, no bigger than the period at the end of the sentence. then another Big Bang will occur. It happens every 80 to 100 billion years. Here's Discover magazine a couple years ago. Where did everything come from? Boys and girls, the universe burst into something from absolutely nothing. Zero, nada. As it got bigger, it became filled with even more stuff that came from absolutely nowhere. How is that possible? Ask Alan Guth. His theory explains everything. Wow, I gotta meet this Alan Guth guy. Well, Alan Guth said in Scientific American, the observable universe, that would be us, could have evolved from an infinitesimal region. In the Greek, that's a dot. He said it's then tempting to go one step further and speculate that the entire universe evolved from literally nothing. Yes, boys and girls, you see, we all came from a dot, and the dot came from nothing. And they call that science and put it in a science book? I'd call that a fairy tale and put it in the garbage. I said, Professor, what happened to your dot? He said, well, Hovind, 20 billion years ago, all the dirt in the universe was drawn into this little bitty tiny dot. And it was spinning. It spun faster and faster. And one day, it exploded. Big bang. And the pieces that flew off became the galaxies and sun, moon, stars, and finally people. Well, here we are. Nothing but stardust. I said, sir, can I ask you a few questions, please? He said, sure. What do you want to know? I said, well, you told me 20 billion years ago, all the dirt got together for the big squish and the big spin and the big bang. Where'd all this dirt come from? You know, who made matter? He said, we don't know about that. I said, okay, now hold it, sir. If I told you that I believe about 6,000 years ago God created the heaven and the earth, then you're going to say, and where did God come from? And I don't know. But you said 20 billion years ago there was a big bang, and you don't know where the dirt came from. So basically, I believe in the beginning God, and you believe in the beginning dirt. Don't tell me. No. Don't tell me my theory is religion and yours is science. They're both religion. The professor said he did not know where the matter came from. I said, well, sir, could you tell me where the laws came from? You know, the universe is run by laws. Gravity, centrifugal force, inertia, Boyle's law, Cole's law. You eat that with potato salad? Who made the laws? And by the way, why aren't the laws still evolving? Why are the laws always so steady? The laws don't evolve. Gravity's consistent. Why don't you weigh more 10 pounds one day than you do? You see, I do. No, I'm not. Never mind. Where did the energy come from? I mean, who bought the gas to run this machine? It takes energy to make something move. Where did the energy come from? The professor said, well, we don't know about that. I said, sir, could I ask you another question? He said, sure. What else would you like to know? Else? What do you mean else? You haven't told me nothing yet. I said, does Berkeley have a merry-go-round? How many of you know what a merry-go-round is? You go round, round, round till you puke, okay? He said, no, we don't have a merry-go-round at Berkeley. I said, you ought to get one, man. You could learn some good science on a merry-go-round. We're going to put some fourth graders on the merry-go-round. And we're going to get the high school football team out there to get it spinning clockwise as fast as it will possibly go. Now, if you have a digital watch, you may not know what clockwise means. We'll tell you later, okay? We're going to spin the merry-go-round clockwise. The kids are going to go through 4 phases. They start off in phase 1. They're screaming at the football players, come on, let's go. Can't you go faster? Let's go. Move it, move it. You get up around 30 miles an hour. The kids enter phase 2, where they stop screaming. They just quietly concentrate on trying to hang on for dear life. You get up around 60 miles an hour, and the kids enter phase 3, where they start screaming again. But now they're screaming, stop, stop, please slow down. Don't stop, they'll keep going faster and faster. When you get to about 100 miles an hour, you should go into phase 4. That's where the kids begin to fly off the merry-go-round. Now when this happens, you will notice an interesting phenomena of physics. If the merry-go-round is spinning clockwise, when the kid flies off, the kid will be spinning clockwise until he encounters resistance, like a tree or a telephone pole. That's because of a law known as the conservation of angular momentum. You see, if a spinning object breaks apart in a frictionless environment, the fragments will always spin the same way, because the outside's moving faster than the inside. People say, what if they hit each other? They can't hit each other. Drop a hand grenade off, let it explode. The longer you wait, the further apart the fragments become. How are they going to hit each other out there in the field someplace? Duh. We could talk all night about the conservation of angular momentum. But the professor said, yes, I'm familiar with the conservation laws. I said, well then good, sir. I have a question for you. If the universe began as a swirling dot, Big Bang, like you said, shouldn't everything be spinning the same way? He said, yes. I said, would you tell me why then 2 and possibly 3 of the planets are spinning backwards? Can you tell me why 8 of the 91 known moons are spinning backwards? Will you tell me why 4 planets have moons going both directions at the same time? Can you explain to me why some whole galaxies are spinning backwards? He said, that's interesting. I said, no, sir, that's more than interesting. That's kind of hard on your Big Bang Theory. He said, why do you think they're going backwards? I was hoping he was going to ask that. I said, sir, it's very simple. You see, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and God did it that way on purpose, just to make the Big Bang Theory look stupid.